Hey guys, Smooth here. Now you can see in this clip that I'm doing some PKing in the EOC. Now I've been really trying hard to get used to this whole new combat system, but I've been having a lot of trouble. I mean, it's so different. Not just the abilities and remembering what they do and when to use them, but just simply picking out the right armor sets, the right weapons, and when to use them. So this has been kind of a problem for me, and I've been kind of doing a lot of research and testing out different things to kind of give some videos out to you guys and kind of get you guys, basically be a lab rat for you guys so you guys can understand what's going on exactly. Because besides the Combat Academy, they've pretty much given us nothing, so we've all been basically going by video makers and from our own trial and error. So in this one, I'm actually doing some chaotic Maul PKing, and I made a big mistake here. I was actually using Royal D'hide to fight other people. Now the reason why this is a big mistake was what appears to be a penalty if you're wearing something that's not of the same item class. So since I was wearing range armor, it appears that my melee damage was being reduced heavily. So that's the first thing that I learned, is that you always want to be wearing the same class armor as the weapon that you're using. So I was fighting this guy here in range, and he was basically comboing me to absolute pieces, even though my armor was range versus range essentially, with a couple different pieces, like I was wearing an Abi cape and dragon boots. But I mean, he was just completely ripping me apart. So I was just going through the motions, and I was eating a lot of food. He was still hitting me pretty hard, but I was actually holding my own pretty well. But it's a lot to take in all at once. So I'm basically spamming different abilities. Now I'm starting to understand exactly what all the different abilities are, what they do, when to use them. So I'm getting a little bit better with that. But it's so much to take in all at once. So you can see that he's giving me all these hit splats. I have to keep an eye on my prayer, keep an eye on my health, and this is what happens. So as I'm going through it and I'm trying to get my adrenaline up, I want to activate an ability called Berserker. Now what Berserker does is that it doubles your damage for 30 seconds or 20 seconds, but regardless, it doubles your damage and uses up your entire adrenaline bar. Now, if you use this, you'll start doing a lot more damage. And I've tested it out with full melee gear, and it did pretty phenomenal when I was using it in the Dominion Tower. In this particular scenario, I couldn't even get it off because I just got comboed to pieces at the end. And what ended up happening was I lost my prayer because I wasn't paying attention to it, and I got smited and lost my chaotic Maul, which sucked really, really badly. After that fail, I decided I wanted to test out some bossing, so I went over to God Wars. So I went over to the Aviances, and I forget exactly what I was using at first, but it was really ineffective against the Aviances, and it took a long time to get kill count. I mean, I was at around 7 or 8, and I was like, this is going to take at least an hour and a half to get through it. So I switched over to bolts, which was apparently the weakness of Aviances, and I bought another chaotic crossbow for the offhand slot. And it got a lot quicker. Now, even with the dual chaotic crossbows and with the weakness of bolts, it still took a pretty long time to get kill count. I think it actually still takes longer than it used to using a regular chaotic crossbow with a shield and broadside bolts. Now, after using momentum, I want to say kill count took around 25 to 30 minutes, so not too bad, but it's still a little bit annoying. And I finally got into the boss room. Now, once I got in there, keep in mind that I wasn't wearing amazing gear. I think I was wearing full Royal D'hide, as you can see over here, which normally in the old combat system I could probably get around 10 solo kills. But as you can see here, I was just getting comboed, and I could barely out-eat their hits. So I decided to test out which kind of protect prayer would work. So I used protect from mage, I used protect from range. Both of them seemed pretty ineffective. So I mean, no matter what I was using, I was still going to get hit pretty hard. And I think that the armor probably wouldn't have helped too much either. So I think this boss, it comes down to the fact that it's really just not balanced yet. Because I've tested out some of the other bosses, and they don't hit nearly as hard as this. And especially their minions. The minions were absolutely wrecking me. So I completely forget what my health is at. You know, I'm just trying to eat nonstop and try to actually get one kill out of this whole thing, and I ended up getting killed once again. And I lost a pretty good amount. I lost my Fury. I lost about 2,000 broadside bolts and some other stuff, like I think 100 dreadnips. But I did end up keeping all my chaotics this time, except for my Ring of Vigor, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of frustrating for this to happen again. But you do have to realize that this is still not balanced yet. The game is still really glitchy. And this is something we're going to have to deal with for a little while. So yeah, just thought I'd show you guys this and so you guys can learn from my mistakes. So take care, guys, and I'll see you all soon.